I'm good. I'm good. Run it. And it was at that moment I realized I had to run my own race. I'm gonna share a lot of stories with you about the good and the bad of my life. If you just want more out of life and you truly want to reach happiness and whatever it is that you're pursuing, this channel is for you. Welcome to Cscopes. Welcome back to Cscopes. Thank you. We are in week 3 of this season. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for staying faithful. So you know what we have to do to start the episode, like we always do. We're gonna go to the Word. Um, and today we're gonna be in Colossians 3:17, and it reads, "And whatever you do, in word or in deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him." And everything that you do, that's the like in everything, in that relationship, in that job, you know what I mean, your friendship with your and everything that you do everything in the name of the Lord. And that's so good. And it's so appropriate for what we're gonna talk about today. Today we're gonna talk about you. Yeah, you and your girlfriend, you and your mom, you and your significant other, you and your homeboy, you. We're gonna talk about you today. And I just want to start off by asking, who are you? Who are you? Like for real, let's really think about that because I know for me, I had a moment in my life where I really was asking myself, who am I? What kind of man do I want to be? What kind of friend do I want to be? Um, and that's a real question that a lot of us kind of ask, and sometimes we ignore it. But like for real, like who are you? Because what's your character like? So we're gonna talk about character today. Like we're gonna talk about who you are and what makes a character, what doesn't. I might step on some toes today. All right, just stay with me. If you're open to honesty and if you're open to growing and really attacking some hard questions, stay with me. All right. So character is the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So the mental and moral qualities are distinctive to you, right? So last week we talked about the principles and the 4 F's, and those are the principles I live by. So that's what makes me me, right? That's what makes the brand. That's what makes me me. So what's your character? What is a moral quality that's distinctive to you? Because at the end of the day, like you alone are in control of your character, no one else, right? Like so if you're stuck in a place where you're like, oh, he made me do it or she made me do it, no, they didn't. You did it. You had a choice. You didn't have to do it. You had a choice. So let's not sit here and act like our character was compromised because somebody made us do something. Because nobody can make you do anything if you really want to keep it 100. Like no one's gonna make you do anything. You did it. All right. Um, Second point on character. That was the first point. Second point on character. Um, it's a display of your principles and it drives the quality of your decisions, right? So who you are, what you stand for, is a display of your principles that you lean on, and then it drives that from those principles will drive the quality of your decisions. So if you make shitty decisions, then you probably have shitty principles. All right, so let's just be honest here, right? Um, so where you going? Are you gonna cut the corners? If you say you're gonna do something, are you gonna cut corners? Can you be trusted to do the right thing when no one else is watching? Right? Can you be trusted to do the right thing, or are you gonna cut corners and try to take the easy way out and expect a big blessing in return? How do you expect to shortchange the process, but you expect 100% return? It don't make no sense. All right, and it starts with the little things. It starts with the little things. If you cut corners on the little things, you're gonna cut corners on the big things. Like let's just like it starts with the little stuff. Just like for my fellas, if your mom, if you grew up with a mom like I did, she's like, hey, put the milk back in the fridge, but you didn't put the milk back in the fridge, but you say you would, right? So that means your word is not your bond, right? So your word don't mean nothing to you. So if you say you're gonna do something, are you actually gonna do it? One thing I've done in my life is I stopped saying yes right away. Because if somebody asks me to do something, I need to know every detail. Because once I commit, I'm done. That's it. And I gotta show up. I gotta pull through and come through for that person if I said I'm gonna do it. Because my word is my bond. Now, if I'm not capable for whatever reason, I will reach out and communicate. But I'm not just gonna just leave them out in the dry. So is your word your bond, right? Point three, man, you really don't know your character until you go through something. You really don't know who you are, or you really don't know who other people around you are until y'all go through something. If you're in a relationship and y'all haven't gone through nothing, shout out to you, but I'm gonna pray for you when it happens, all right? Because it's all sunshine and roses until you go through some stuff till you realize who someone really is. And for me, I'm very optimistic. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I like to see the good in people, and it surprised me when we go through something, people really show me who they really are, and I'm just like, whoa, like I had no idea you was capable of doing that, right? And that's happened to me multiple times in my life. And I know you've gone through it too, and you've been hurt by people that you think would have been there or wouldn't have done this or that. Like, I get it. But again, you really don't know anybody until you go through something, right? One of my, reality shows that we watch on Netflix. Um, one of them, Love is Blind. I love Love is Blind. I watch that all the time. It's one of my favorite ones. And, you know, my favorite part of Love is Blind is when they go through something because it's all sunshine and roses and cute and all that until you go through something. And when the trouble hits, that's when I'm tuned in. I'm like, damn, I want to see who people really are because they're gonna show you their true colors, right? We all have heard that. And sometimes it's really not about what you do; it's really how you do it, right? So if you're going to um, if somebody gives you a task and you said you're gonna do it, your word is your bond, right? It's not about the fact that you're gonna do it, it's how you're gonna do it. Are you gonna do it with pride? Are you gonna put your energy into it? Are you gonna do it with care, right? If somebody lets you hold something or borrow something, are you going to really treat that thing as if it was yours and return it the way you was given to it? You was given, right? And that all that speaks to your character. Like for me, if I let my brother borrow a PlayStation and he brings it back and the controller buttons all off and it's all greasy, that speaks to his character. Now I'm not saying he ever did that, but I'm just it's just a simple example, right? Um, because if somebody gives you something back and it doesn't look like the way you gave it, oh man, I know you mad. I know you mad, and you never gonna let that person borrow anything ever again. And unfortunately, you have to go through those situations and those circumstances for you to know someone and to see how they are, and then to like learn the hard way that you can never, give them something ever again. All right, and that's tough, and I get it. Like it's tough. It's not easy, and we all got to go through it. We all have gone through it at some point of our lives, and it is what it is, right? So character is a really big thing. So what's your character? Who are you? And that's my biggest question for you today as you go through life and build your life. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna live your life to your own scope, you have to figure out who you are first to then understand how you operate, right? What you stand for, what you lean on, so that way you can continue to, reach your true purpose in life. Because whatever that you put your purpose in, and once you find that purpose, you're gonna have to figure out who you are. So I'm trying to help you figure out who you are now, so that way you can really get to that point. And once you get to that point, ain't no doubling back. It's like, okay, this is who I am. This is how I'm gonna operate my business. This is how I'm gonna be in my career because that's just who I am. Done deal. And you lean on your principles, right? Because the one thing I learned about character, and this changed my life. Like when I got out of undergrad, going into grad school, one thing I learned about character is you're not gonna attract who you want, but you are going to attract who you are. I'm gonna say that again. You don't attract who you want, you attract who you are. So, this is where I'm gonna step on some toes. Ladies, fellas, I hear this a lot on our culture. It's constantly niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit, they ain't about nothing. Whatever that you're saying. Well, let me ask you this: if you keep saying that niggas ain't shit or bitches ain't shit, what does that make you? What does that make you, dog? Like, you attract who you are. So I'm not trying to tell you you ain't shit. That's for you to figure out. All right. That is for you to figure out and to pray on. But if you keep saying that niggas ain't shit and you keep attracting people that ain't shit, well, you got to figure out, well, what is it about you that's attracting those people? Because you attract who you are. I'm just saying, you attract who you are. And to be honest, that statement to me sounds very immature. Like, it tells me that you're really not that mature, and you need to grow up a little bit. It's okay, all right. Like, I was there once. I had to grow up. And for me, it was like when I got out of undergrad, you know, a friend of mine told me if you're gonna attract a woman of quality, you gotta want to become a man of quality, right? If you don't, you're gonna attract these chicken heads that ain't about nothing. That ain't really that ain't really gonna support you in your vision. So if you want to attract a woman and not a girl, then you got to become a man and not a boy. Like, just because you get older don't mean you get wiser. Don't Just because you get older don't mean you get more mature. Age ain't nothing but a number. So if you're like, oh, I'm too grown for this. If you have to tell yourself you're too grown, you're really not that grown. Like, let's keep it 100. If you have to tell yourself you're too grown, you're not that grown, and you need to change your language, because it speaks to your level of maturity. All right. And then another point on character, it's really a blend of your wisdom, the courage. There's that word again. A blend of your wisdom, courage, and a duty to self. It starts with you, a duty to self, then to others, and then to something bigger than you. All right. So at the end of the day, it starts with you. You got to figure out who you are. Then you gotta be that amazing person to someone else. Then you gotta put that amazing person behind an idea or something bigger than you. All right. Because it's not enough to just hold on to this amazing person that you all are. Like, you gotta, one, be a blessing to other people and be a blessing to something greater than you, an idea, purpose or whatever. Um, and you have to choose you at the end of the day, like, before you could choose anybody else. Like, if you're in a relationship and you know it's not going well, choose you. Like, choose you, because if that person's not going to choose you, if they're not treating you well, choose you. It's like, it's on you to choose you. Like, it's really, that's really what it is. Like, so if you keep allowing that person to not treat you the way you should be treated, that's on you. You gotta bounce. You gotta go. We have to go. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I grew up choosing myself. Like, I had a lot of friends um that I grew up with playing ball. And I remember when I was in college, I was in a friend group. They might hate me for saying this story, but I was in, I was in this friend group that I grew up playing high school ball with, and that group was toxic, dog. We was putting each other down constantly. And I'm like, bro, how are we supposed to do better if we're constantly putting each other down? So I made an executive decision for myself and my mental health and my purpose in life. I had to remove myself out of that group chat. I had to. Like, it wasn't helping me in any way. Like, that friend group wasn't really helping me in any way to move forward. So it's like, I had to go. But then the ones that, the particular individuals that was real, we still talk on the side to this day. And I'd rather that than to be part of a community that's not gonna help me grow. And you're probably in that friend group too, that you probably are contemplating getting yourself out. It doesn't take another person to remove you from a conversation. You can remove yourself from a friend group. So, but if you're like, oh, if you have this feeling like you have FOMO, you're gonna miss out on something. What's more important, FOMO or your mental health? You gotta choose you. It's on you to choose you. And that I've always chosen myself in relationships. If it ain't working out, gotta go. If it's not working out, gotta go. My mom clowns me about this all the time. She's like, you don't give nobody no chance. I'm like, it wasn't working out. I gave it a chance. 3 strikes, you out. Like, I'm not a patient person. I try to be. We gonna talk about it. But if things ain't progressing, I'm all about progress. Like, we're not staying the same for the next 2 months, and then for me to be like, oh, we're trying. No, we're not. It's been a whole 60 days. Nothing has gotten better. Gotta go. And, I'm so happy that I've been able to choose myself, because even in high school, I had friends that wasn't really, playing football, and they kept clowning me that I keep working out so much and I'm working out so much. I'm like, dog, college ain't paying for itself. All right. I had to choose me. I chose me. Gotta go. Right. I'm gonna love you from a distance. That's my favorite thing to do now. Love people from a distance. I love you, but you have to go. Like, you have to go. All right. And it's not nothing against you. It's not nothing against who you are as a person. It's just for me and my mental health. I have to do it. I gotta go. I gotta go. And you have to do the same thing, because you can't blame anybody else for what you can control. All right. So it's gonna get good. We got a second part. We gonna stay with me, but we're gonna take a break and go to this week's segment of BYOB. I'm really gonna help you build your own bank in this season. Stay with me, all right? So let's go check that out. All right, y'all, listen. Welcome to this week's segment of BYOB. All right, look, we're gonna talk about life insurance. All right, this is the one bill that I would recommend. The one bill that I would recommend. All right. Listen, why should you get life insurance? A lot of people say, why should I get life insurance? It's not that serious. Yes, it is, first of all. All right. If you're going to insure your life, if you're going to insure your couch, your electronic products, your home, your, all this stuff, your car, insure your life, because that's the one thing right? We just talked about accountability today. You are going to pay for all those things. So if you're not insuring your life, you are not living right. Okay. There's 2 types of policies. I'm gonna go through this quick. Okay. There's term life and whole life. Term life, it's for a term. That's exactly what it is. 10, 20, or 30 years. It's typically where you can get more coverage, up to $1 million. So that way you can cover the house that you got a mortgage on, cover your salary for your family. God forbid something happens, so the salary is covered, and it's cheaper. All right. But once the term is over, you're gonna have to start over. You're gonna have to restart the term, so the price may go up. But the younger you are, the cheaper it is. Okay. And then there's whole life. Whole life is typically less coverage, probably just gonna be for your burial expenses, but you have it for your entire life, and you can build cash value that you can borrow into, kind of like a bank, but you don't have to pay it back. But if you don't pay it back, then they're gonna subtract that from whatever they pay you out. God forbid something happens to you when you run off to Jesus. Okay, so there's term life and whole life. I personally recommend, as an agent that I am, I'm licensed in many states. I recommend that you get both. If you got a house and a mortgage and a high salary that your family depends on, I recommend you to get term, and also get a whole life just for your burial expenses. So that way, you're covered, and your family don't have to scramble and do GoFundMe's to bury you. All right. And the last thing I will say, for all my people out here in the Black community, listen to me closely. I'm trying to help. I really want to help us do better. All right. Stop wasting your money on nonsense. All right. If we all had a life insurance policy, they will stop killing us. All right. So that's all I got for y'all today. Thank you so much for coming to this week's segment of BYOB. Again, I'm a licensed agent. If you need me, you can contact me and hit me up on Instagram, and I can get you started and get you covered right away. Okay, right away, and it's very cheap. If you can spend $100, $200, $300 on car insurance, you can spend less than that on life insurance. All right. So I love y'all. Let's get back to the show. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed this week's segment of BYOB. It is so good. You need to apply these things. I'm gonna keep saying that because Sometimes we need to hear things a million times before it really registers it in our brain. All right. We need to, I don't know where I got to hit you, but it has to register. It has to register. All right. Like, maybe it's not the ear. Maybe we got to crack open your dome and just put the information in so you can apply it. All right. So I'm going to keep doing that each and every week because I care about you. I care about all of y'all happiness. I care about you moving forward in life. So I'm going to keep repeating this stuff. All right. So it starts with you. Now we're going to talk about accountability. All right. So if you're going, if character is your decision, something that you can control, you gotta be able to be accountable for you, man. You gotta be able to be accountable for you. It starts with I. That's the first point. It starts with I. Stop blaming other people for what you can control. Take accountability for who you are, what the actions that you take, and the results, that you receive on the back end. Like it starts with you, man. It really starts with you. Um, The quality of your life is a result of your decision. So why are you blaming other people, right? If you're blaming other people for the quality of your life or how you are experiencing your life, you're not accountable. You are not accountable. And if all right, this might be a touchy subject, but my single moms out there, if you got a dude that's just not handling his business, I'm gonna pray for him. All right, we need to do better, fellas. But if you're saying, hey, he left me with these babies to raise them by myself, I ain't gonna lie to you. My mom raised two kids by herself. She ain't never complained that both our dads wasn't around. Because at the end of the day, the accountability comes in to the fact that you chose to make a man a dad when he wasn't ready to be a father. That was your decision, dog. I know it might sound harsh, but just stay with me. Like you got to really attack these critical and crucial things because it starts with you. Like this is your body. Like it's your body. So it's like, how you gonna be? If you know he wasn't ready and he told you he wasn't ready, or he probably did. Let me start there too. So sometimes some fellas be lying. They're like, oh yeah, keep the baby, and then when the baby comes, they bounce. I get that, but again, you gotta be able to discern if that person is really ready to be a father. Are you proud of the man that he is for the kids that you're gonna have? If you're not okay with that, then don't make him a father. He wasn't ready. He was not ready. He was not ready. All right. If you're a hustler out there and you're like, man, no one's supporting my business, that's okay. Support your own business. It starts with you, right? So a lot of times you quit your business because you feel like no one's in your family or your friends are supporting it. They're not. Who are you to be entitled for their support? It was your idea. If you're a hustler, 9 times out of 10, your family and your friends aren't gonna support you. Let's just start right there. All right, like they're not gonna support you. All right. If you're in a relationship, like he or she don't treat me well, okay, get out. Like, you know, why stay in it when you know he's not working out for you, right? And if you're somebody like me, like I fall in love with potential, and a lot of times it got me in trouble a lot. Um, I fall in love with the potential of people, and I feel like it's gonna pan out, and it doesn't. And to be honest with you, I had to go because again, we tried it, it didn't work out, gotta go. Um, my biggest revelation, man, that I've got that really, 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 really helped me out is, I'm gonna bring y'all in my. I'm in your house right now, but I'm gonna bring y'all in my house a little bit. All right. The situation with my daughter and her mom, it's not the greatest. It's not. It isn't. Like I'm praying that it gets better for her, for my daughter's sake in the future. But it's not the greatest. All right, it could be a lot better. But that situation taught me that it's not really. I'm not really mad at what she's doing. I'm not mad at the stress that she's causing. I'm more mad at myself for the decisions that I made, lead, which is I'm reaping that seed that I sowed it back then now. So for me, it's not really her. She's just a representation of my bad decisions. So I had to take the accountability to realize that, oh no, this is really I kick-started this stress back then when it was all sunshine and roses, when I knew I should have placed those boundaries and uphold those boundaries, right? So it's like, are you able to do that? That's high level accountability right there. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a job and you're saying this job sucks and this is the reason why I'm broke, get another job. Like seriously, just go get another. Like like as easy as it is to replace you, it's that easy for you to replace them, right? Like you can go get another job. Just tell me you're just too lazy to go through the process. Like you know what I mean? Rather than complain about it, tell me you just don't want to do the work. Then I can respect that, and then we could talk about how we can do better and do better and do better moving forward, right? Accountability, how you talk about your past relationships speaks to your level of accountability. If I ask you, hey, how was your last relationship? Why y'all break up? And if it's constantly like he or she did this, he or she did that, okay, what part did you play? What part did you play? Because it takes two to tango. So what part did you play and the relationship fell in? Because I know it's not just the other person. Like 9 times out of 10, like it's really both sides that could have did better on some way, some shape or form. But it's like if you're not able to tell me that, then it shows that you haven't really learned a lesson or you haven't really gained anything out of this relationship. So now you're gonna go to the next relationship and you're gonna do the same thing and it's gonna end up the same way because you think you're perfect, you think you did everything right. And it's like 9 times out of 10 we're not perfect and we're not supposed to be. So that's why you gotta take accountability for who you are, man. If you're sitting here, blaming the government or blaming your employer as to your quality of your life because of X, Y, and Z, I was an immigrant. The government wasn't on my side for like 6, 7 years, but I never complained about it. I just said, you know what? How can I figure this out? Because it's my life. Like you are in control of the way you view your life, right? It's not on the government. It's not on your employer. It's on you, right? The government is not going to come save you, and the employer is not going to make you rich. If anything, they're trying to get rich themselves. So it's like, what are we doing? All right. Um, like one thing I really want you to really understand is you are the asset. You are the brand. You're the asset, right? If they're not paying you enough, go learn a skill. Go get paid what you feel like you're worth. Simple as that. Take accountability for what you're not willing to do. Okay? You're the asset. Like I know that job is an asset for somebody else, but you're the asset for your own life. You can always grow your value. You can always build on your value by learning a skill, learning more information, so you can apply these things in your work and in your life. All right. And the last point that I'm gonna give y'all, man, is accountability is an inside job. My question to you is, do you have the courage to face the truth about you? Do you have the courage to ask yourself these tough questions and to tell yourself that to be aware of the part that you play in every situation of your life? Do you have the courage? That's why courage is such a huge principle that I lean on because it takes courage to be accountable. It takes courage to have a positive character because your image and who you are, that's gonna speak to somebody. Like if you don't do good business, no one's gonna refer your business. One thing about me, if you don't do good business, that's the last time you probably hear from me. I'd rather go 2 hours down the road than to come back to your business. So do you have the courage to face the truth about you? It's an inside job. It starts with you. Sometimes you really gotta look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I need to do better. Like, how easy is that for a lot of us, right? Um, so I hope that really helped y'all today. This has been amazing. I know, it's some deep stuff today. It's some deep stuff, but it's needed, because if you're really gonna live your life to your own scope, you gotta be accountable, and you gotta learn and be accountable to who you are and your character. All right. So that's it for today. We're gonna go to this week's segment of TTM, and then we're gonna come wrap it up. Go check that out.
My name is Nicolette Easley. I am from Houston, Texas. I'm a mother and housewife, and the message of Cscopes means to me being aligned with God's agenda.
2, 1.
What's going on, y'all? Chef Merlot from Houston, Texas. Restaurant owner, caterer, barber, a few other things, music artist. Living your life through your own scope means making the decisions that best fit the vision that you have for yourself and for the others that you want to take care of.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the show. Man, people are out there really embracing this message. It's amazing to hear the way that they're living their life through their own scope and embracing and internalizing the message, man. That's really what it's all about. And I want you to do the same thing. What does that really mean to you? Um, so that's it for this week's episode. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for staying faithful with me. If you haven't done so, like, share, and subscribe with a friend, because this may bless them. Right? This may be a message that they may need to hear, so they can grow in their own life, so they can move forward. And you could be the reason why you can help them kickstart that journey for them. All right. So I love you guys. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for attacking those tough questions. Um, and I'll see you next time. I love y'all. Peace.